Welcome to Next Play. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Next Play. Super pumped to have AJ Henning on, Northwestern wide receiver. So thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
We were excited about the news we heard this week, you declaring for the NFL. So big congrats on that.
Big time.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's huge. That's amazing. So I love to start, this podcast always with something that makes athletes generally uncomfortable, but to let our listeners know your accolades and your amazing career at how old are you, by the way, at the young age of 23? Yeah, well, this is impressive. So you were a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, the 17th best wide receiver in the country, and a top player in Illinois. 2019 Chicago Sun-Times Player of the Year, 2019 Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year, 2019 Southtown Player of the Year, Daily Herald Player of the Year, Edgy Tim Player of the Year, selected in the 2020 All-American Bowl. You committed to Michigan and was the school's highest ranked recruit in the 2020 class. COVID, huh? That was the start of COVID there. Yeah. Your junior season, you were all Big Ten selection as a return man and was named Special Teams Player of the Year. Then you transferred to Northwestern. What year did you do that?
My first season was 2023.
Okay. And you were the first Wildcat to post 4+ receiving touchdowns with at least 1 rushing touchdown since 2005. And then this year, congratulations, 2024 All Big Ten Special Teams Honorable Mention. And again, the biggest thing, declaring for the NFL draft. So
yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I can jump into my first question. I mean, obviously there's no doubt you're a freak athlete. But how much of that success that you've had can you contribute to, your mindset on the field?
I think it's a big part of mindset. I think people don't realize how big your mindset and your demeanor going into a game or going into practice, how much that means going into it. I feel like I play my best when I'm have a calm mind and I go into a game, feeling calm and feeling like I'm ready to play, knowing I'm prepared and ready to play. And then just, every time I step on the field, I feel like I'm the best player on the field, and just having that mindset, going out there, believing in yourself, believing in your preparation, knowing that you put in the work to, make the play when the play comes to you, I think gives you that mental edge and mental advantage, because it starts with belief. I mean, once you believe you can do something, you put in the work, you put in the hours, and then you go out there and you're able to execute it.
For sure. Who was your role model in that? Did you have somebody that guided you in them, having that sort of immediate belief? Or was it just, internal and just who you are?
I think it started out internal and who I was. I mean, my mom would always encourage me to do my best and try to be the best in everything that I did, in the classroom. I mean, my sister, she's in medical school right now. So she was top student in everything that she did. So I always want to be like her in the classroom. She was always reading. She was always doing all these cool things, earning all these awards in school. So I was always looking up to her, wanting to be the best I could be in school. And then I found my element. I didn't feel as comfortable in the classroom as I did on the field, but I found my niche on the field, and I always felt like I wanted to be the best every time I stepped on the field. So it started with the inner belief, kind of just finding my way and finding my groove as an athlete. And then, there were definitely people who I looked up to as my mom, parents, and definitely my sister is one of them who, took that mindset in and just made it my own,
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we mentioned, obviously, NFL coming up. What do these next couple months look like for you?
Yeah, so the next couple months is really unique. I feel like this is the first time where I'm entering that unknown part of my career, dating back into say middle school. There's as you guys know, there's a big Catholic. It's you can get recruited to go to these private schools and Catholic recruitment process. But I ultimately chose the public school in my area, which was really good. And I knew where I was going. And then following high school, I obviously picked the college, chose Michigan out of high school, and And then now it's sort of at this crossroads where like I'm training, I'm preparing for the next level, preparing for, combine, pro day and stuff like that. And, you don't really know where you're going to end up, but you're just, putting in the work each day and, hoping somebody takes a chance on you. But so I'll be training down in Nashville for a few months and then getting ready for my pro day and combine training and getting ready for the next level.
Yeah. Do you anticipate it being like tougher at the NFL level in like the sense of like how sharp your mindset needs to be, or do you think it'll be kind of similar to, the college level?
Mindset wise, I would definitely, I feel like I have a good regimen as far as taking it, like approaching the game. Obviously
Absolutely.
like the physical side of things. Obviously you get to the next level, it's obviously going to be different. I mean, when you make the transition from high school to college, it's not easy. And then, I have friends who play in the NFL. They say it's not easy, just like, the workload and, the physicality of the game and just mentally just grasping a NFL playbook and stuff like that is not, it's not easy by any means. But like anything, if you put in the work and you put in the time, I mean, I feel like you'll reap the benefit of that. But as far as just like my mindset of approaching the game, I always try to approach it the same way because I know the work that I put in to get to this point, and I know that I would never cheat myself in any situation to heading into a game or a practice or anything like that.
Absolutely.
When you talk about things outside of your control, right? When you're like, I'm entering the unknown, as a psychotherapist, I always say anxiety wakes up in the unknown, right? When people, often that's when they get ahead of themselves and worry or doubt could creep in. So for you, have you faced adversity or moments in your life in the sports world where that doubt has creeped in, whether it's injury or whatever, and how have you managed that?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a big part of being an athlete is like the greatest thing about sports is always how you can take lessons from the game and apply them to your actual life. And I think adversity is a big one. Life isn't going like this, right? There's peaks and valleys and there's going to be tough days. And in sports, there's going to be tough days. There's going to be days you walk off the practice field and you're not feeling like you had your best day. There's going to be games where you feel like you didn't play your best. And there's going to be times where injury happens. And those are things that are out of your control. And I felt like I've dealt with my fair share of injuries throughout my career. And as a younger player, it definitely weighed a big toll on me on how I felt, really just down about it, feeling sorry for myself about, why can't I play? Like, why me? Why did this happen to me? And it goes back to how I said my mom was a big, she's been a big part of my journey, but just being rooted in faith and just knowing that, God's plan is greater than my own. And just knowing that, you're going to come out on the backside of that injury better because of it. So, if there's any moment where I feel like, I was missing time because of an injury or anything like that, as I got older as an athlete, I just looked at it as a way to get better. What can I do now that I'm injured that I can contribute to the team, that I can continue to pour into myself, continue to pour into my teammates? Can I be an extra coach to young guys who are looking up to me? Can I be a guy who takes this time, although I can't participate physically? Can I participate mentally, sharpening my game in the room and stuff like that? So I just always try to find ways on how I can get better and I try to look at the positive in everything. So I just look at it in a means to get better from it.
Yeah. Diving back to when you're playing, is there anything specific that you do before games to like lock in? Are you big on visualization, breath work, anything like that?
Yeah, definitely breath work. Mindful meditation. I'll tell you, it started, a good friend of mine played at Michigan with me, and I've known him since my early days of high school, JJ McCarthy. He kind of introduced me to meditation. And I remember he gave me his Headspace login. I was like, he was always doing it like before games and stuff. And you see him like doing it under the goalpost and stuff like that. And I asked him about it one day, and I was like, what does that do for you? How does that help you and stuff like that? And I was just interested because I heard some of the top athletes. I know I heard Michael Phelps does it as well. And I just sort of asked him about it one day, and he just told me some of the benefits that he reaped from it. Gave me his Headspace login. Headspace is an app that, helps you guided meditation and stuff like that. And I tried it, and it was something that was different, but it was something that I worked on it, and I got better at it. And it's something that I actually implemented in my every game routine, just a moment of mindfulness that I can, just take a breath, acknowledge where I'm at, acknowledge that, we're about to play a game, where we are, taking a deep breath, controlling my breath, hearing it, just knowing where I am, knowing what's about to take place. And then after, those minutes where you're taking those breaths, you come back to, you're locked in, ready to go. And I do that right before we go out. Right after early warmups, we come back in to the locker room. People start getting ready, a little juiced up, some guys, but I'm more of those guys that like to be calm right before I play. I feel like I'm in the best mindset when I'm calm. And so I take my mindfulness right before kickoff, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you said calm, that's the goal, I think, of so many athletes that we work with. They'll say, I'm trying to get that performance flow. And I've watched you play all season, and you have a lightness about you, just this energy that I think people are drawn to finding you outside of your athletic ability. Your presence, is felt. I felt like watching you all year, so I enjoyed it very much. But when you talk about that calm mind and like clearing it, and you talk about visualization, is there something you visualize? Like, are you specifically thinking, about the opponent, that particular opponent that day, or just how you want to move in general?
Yeah, I think it's about visualizing success. The week of preparation, we're running these plays that we're going to run that game. So if it's like, a deep ball down the sideline that I know is going to get called on a certain situation, I'm trying to visualize success of me catching that pass. Or, if I had that rep in practice where I caught it, I'm thinking about that same rep and how I can, mimic that same play that I had in practice. And I don't feel like I was always that way. I feel like as a young athlete, especially when I got to college, and it was pretty tough for me just picking up a college playbook and just the different nuances of just figuring out college football. I oftentimes got, my coach used to call it paralysis by analysis, and you just, you overthink. And I'm so prepared that, I'm thinking so much, and I'm so prepared that I can't do my job to the best of my ability. I'm not playing as fast as I can be.
Yeah.
But like, once I got over that hump, I started to really see myself grow as an athlete, and being able to get to that space where I'm calm and I can be free and play in this free state.
Yeah. That's hard to do. I mean, that's the goal of every athlete, right? To just play in the moment, and football is such a physical sport. Owen, you played up to what?
Yeah, played with Covey. Yeah, he was
You did. You played with Covey.
Yeah. I have a question. Yeah, I have a question though. It's 3rd and 10. You get to pick any route. Guys pressing you. What are you running?
I'm just running right by him.
Go route. All day, baby. All day. Yeah.
Go route.
All right. I got to ask, because punt returner, it's got to be the worst job. I mean, there's no getting around. It's got to be the worst job. Like, what's the mindset back there when you're just, waiting for that punt? Like, I mean, are you not scared shitless back there?
I think I had a coach one time say it takes a crazy man to go back there and stand back there and catch punts. And I think it is one of the underrated, hardest jobs to do in all of football, especially doing it at a high level. Being able to track the ball and catch punts is not an easy thing to do, and that's why everybody doesn't do it. But I think being back there, having the trust and belief in the rest of the punt return team weighs big on my mindset going into, like, okay, I'm about to field this punt. Having the trust and belief that those guys are going to do their job, so that it makes my job easier. Like, I'm going to catch the ball and I'm going to run with it after. So I'm just really focused on the ball and just blocking out everything else so that I can do my job. And then when I catch the ball, from there, we're just playing ball. but
Go time, yeah.
I think it starts with the trust and belief that you have in the other guys that are on the field with you.
Yeah. You like
Well,
kick return or punt return better?
I like punt return. I like punt return. Yeah.
Yeah, unusual in that way. I mean, when
Yeah.
you're talking about all the skills, right, that people have to develop, they don't just happen. So when you're saying you're focusing on just the ball and blocking everything out, that is a skill, but because you can't just remove fear for some people, it takes the practice of it and being able, like you said, to lean into trust. Do you have a mantra that is something you use and say to yourself over and over again, as part of your practice at all? Sports mantra?
Sports mantra. I do. I go back to this video of Aaron Donald, just like having positive self-talk to himself before the Super Bowl. And I had always like done that to myself. Like as we're running out the tunnel, I'm talking to myself, telling myself, every time you touch the ball, you're going to score. Every time the ball in the air, it's yours. Anytime there's an opportunity for you to make a play this game, it's going to happen. Like just saying this out loud as I'm running out the tunnel, just to like get myself. So it's not technically a mantra, but I do like practice positive self-talk right before the game to get myself in a mindset of, we're about to play, you're about to do this, and you're about to impact the game in a big way. And, you believe in yourself and you're going to go out there and do it.
Yeah, we call that feedback loop over here at Pure Sports Mindset. It's those that have a good, how they talk to themselves. It impacts the way they play. I mean, it obviously has for you.
Mine for my intramural league at school is this kid can't guard me. So
yeah.
Yeah, but another question for you. How would you say you define mental toughness?
How would I define mental toughness? I mean, I would say how you take on the peaks and valleys of life. Like we talked about, it's not always going to be linear. It's not always going to be one way. I mean, to be able to have back against the wall and fight through adversity that's a skill. And so to be able to have that toughness to persevere through, it takes a certain type of person to do that. And I think the way that you respond to any type of moment you're in or any type of adversity that you're facing shows a lot about who you are as a person and how tough you are mentally.
For sure. The reset respond, for sure. I agree. It's an absolute skill. Okay, so Owen made fun of me and said it's not true. So I'm just going to check in with you. Do you think there was more chippiness this year in the Big Ten? Like a little more like angst, fighting.
I said it's always there. I mean, it just felt
like I feel like it's always there.
All right, I was wrong. Fine.
No, but
always there. The Big Ten is gritty.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I went to Wisconsin.
Big Ten is gritty.
I mean, it is, which is what I love about it. But how do you, I guess from a mindset perspective, you said you're pretty calm, but when you look at football and that need to kind of find that hype and get real like juiced up right in the moment, how do you think for in general football players that balance of like staying in that perfect level of control is, right? So just curious what you think about that for the sport itself. I think it's hard.
I think you have to find the balance between the level of physicality and how you approach it. It varies from play to play because if you're too physical, if you're too amped up, too juiced up, you could it could be detrimental to the team. Like you get a flag, you get a penalty. So it's just like finding that happy medium in between. Like, all right, like I can get away with this. Like you said, it's a little more chippy. Sometimes you can get away with a little more, but I can get away with this. But this is right on the edge. Maybe the ref is pulling back. Like if you do that again, I'm gonna call it or something like that. But I think you just have to find the balance. And I think it varies from player to player. Like some players are more physical than others. And but it's just a mindset. And it's just a mindset.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're mic'd up, if they allowed mic'd up out there, what are you saying? What are we hearing? Are you out there? Are you talking? Come on, give me something.
You probably can't. Hey, I have a better question.
No, come on, it's a good question. Give me something. What are you saying? You talked a lot of shit.
I'm taking one of Owen's mantras. You can't guard me. I'm taking that one.
Right?
That one gets said. That one gets said a lot.
Yeah.
How about, all right, if there's a scrum in the middle, someone cheap shots Covey, are you flying in there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's going down. It's going down.
I love it. Yeah, I love the brotherhood that exists. It's like fun to watch, you know? Well, it's super fun hearing you talk about it. And there's so many young athletes that look up to you. Do you feel that? Do you feel you know, that you are a role model? Have you felt that in your career?
Yeah, I think it's really cool to just reflect on, how many, young athletes look up to me. I got younger cousins, and my little brother, he's a huge football fan, and just a fan of me in general. I just, want to be a role model to, all the younger athletes who look up to me, just because I've been in that position before. I've looked up to an athlete, and I wanted to be on stage one day declaring for the NFL, and having an opportunity to play at the next level. So just going through my whole journey and just seeing where I've come and where I am now, I just want to be a role model to the younger generation and younger athletes coming up. Just to, if I did it, why can't you do it? Why can't you go out there and put in the work and put in the time and effort to try to be your best both on and off the field, and eventually get into a position where you're chasing your dream and you're one step away from your childhood dream. So yeah, I definitely do feel it, and it's a sense of pride that I do not take lightly, because I know a lot of eyes are on me, and I know how much it means to those young kids.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so many of them. Okay, so Pack or Bear in the draft, where are you going to go?
If I said anything but the Bears, I mean, my parents would it would be bad at home. But I mean, I was a Bears fan. I've been Bears. I've been Bears my whole life. So I say Bears, right. But I mean, if the Packers wanted to pick me, I mean, I'd be blessed to go to any of the.
Yeah, there you go.
Teams,
Okay, all right. I'll take it. Oh, do you have anything else for him while we have him on the phone here?
No, I think that's it for me. I've enjoyed, hearing a little bit more about your story and kind of how you approach the game.
That's great to hear. So lastly, I guess, when will you kind of know, like, what is the next,
So, like I said, I'll be training for Pro Day Combine until March, and then the draft is in April. So I'll figure out, where we're going, what next steps are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be rooting for you, and we really appreciate you coming on the podcast. Like I said, so many athletes love to hear about the mental part of the game and the mindset, and I think there's more and more attention being drawn to it. So for you to take the time to come talk to us, we really appreciate it. So I just want to thank you. And if you want to hear more mental tips, join us on our next episode of Next Play, or check us out online at puresportsmindset.com. And again, thanks, AJ. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate you guys.